paper and get your snack, because you know how I feel about snacks. And let's talk with JJ Goodrum from Howard Hanna Real Estate.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you so very much. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm super excited to talk about all those things with you guys and just give as much information out as possible to help your audience here.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. This lady right here is a fantastic real estate agent. I've been following her on Facebook for a little while now, and I've seen you work miracles with people. I mean, people who didn't think they could buy real estate have bought real estate, not just buying it. They have bought it, they're living in it, they're prospering, they have changed the way they live their financial lives, and all because you have helped them. So we're going to go over all that tonight, but first of all, just give us a little background on how you got into real estate and what's your passion about it.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I'll give you a background about myself first. So I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I went to Chicago State University and I got my Bachelor of Science degree with a concentration in accounting. So I'm an accountant by nature, which my personality really doesn't match an accountant because I'm so bubbly and stuff like that.
Yes.
So then I got recruited here because I accepted a job as an auditor. So I was an auditor for 14 years here.
In Cleveland?
In Cleveland.
Auditing what?
Financial statements.
Oh gosh, and you enjoyed that.
I did enjoy it a whole
God.
lot. I went to Tiffany University and I got my MBA from there. So when I stopped being an auditor, I was like, I just really love helping people.
Yeah.
Helping people is just one of my, I want to say, gifts. Yeah. And so I've always had a passion for real estate. I bought my first home when I was 25 years old.
All right.
So, and I've always wanted to help people. So in February of last year, I decided to take a leap of faith and start my journey towards real estate. And I was kind of nervous at first. I hadn't been to school in 12 years and wasn't for sure if I could, jump back into gear and get it done. But I prepared my mind mentally and I enrolled in Hondros College. It's here in Ohio. And I did their 3-week fast track program.
Oh my.
It was it was 4 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day. And then I studied nonstop for 2 weeks and I passed the exam May 13th, actually 9 months from today, the first time around.
Wow.
And ever since then, I've just been rolling. It's funny because my sister-in-law, she called me the Thursday before I was supposed to sit for the exam, and she was telling me, I want to buy a house. When are you getting your license? And I said, well, I'm going to pass the exam on Monday.
That's right.
And then we'll be ready to roll, by Wednesday,
Tuesday.
Thursday.
I know that's right.
And everyone thought that I was crazy because they're like, how did you know that you were going to pass on Monday? And I knew. I put in the work. I put in the dedication. I was dreaming real estate. Now, anytime you dream about stuff it's serious business, I knew I was going to pass the exam the first time around and start helping people out immediately.
So your sister was your first...
My sister-in-law was my first client.
Well, that's wonderful. That's really good.
Yes. So it's been a journey. I've been licensed for 9 months now, but I have made over 12 families' dreams come true in 9 months.
My goodness, so that's more than one person a month. Now, I don't know real estate very well, but in order to get someone into a home, it's not like you say, I want to buy a home right there. You're in. It is a process.
It is a
process. So to have that type of track record, you must be destined to be a real estate agent.
Thank you so very much. Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'm just excited because when you see other people being successful in something that I'm not saying I want to be a real estate agent. I'd like to buy property. But when you see other people being successful at purchasing properties, then you know, okay, maybe that could be me too. And that's what I've seen in all the ventures that I've seen from you on Facebook. And it's just people are jumping in and you're helping them along and they're being successful and purchasing these homes. And I can't imagine the feeling that you have when you see that big smile on someone's face when you dangle those keys in their hand.
It makes my heart smile. It makes my heart smile because it is something that I'm really, truly passionate about. And I think the good thing is, when people come to me and they have those doubts, I'm very resourceful, and I give them assurance that, we can get you there if you're not there now. Mm-hmm. So let's not lose hope. We go over their situation. Let me see your credit report. Let me see where you're at. I talk about like the things that they would have to come up with up front, like just to prepare them as far as like closing costs, down payment, the inspection, the appraisal, like everything, so that they will know what we're, going to be.
Yeah, what we're facing.
Yeah.
And that's really good to know, because I tell you, I've heard real estate agents that make it seem like the flowers are blooming and the lilies are bright, when in reality, okay, your flowers are not blooming and your lilies are not bright, but that does not prohibit you from buying a home. And honesty is like, to me, gold is money in the bank. Mm-hmm. The most people that are actually serious about buying a house would rather have the honest slowdown about, this is where you're at, this is where you need to get to, and then this is when we can purchase a home. Mm-hmm. So speaking on those terms, excuse me, what do you find is the main factor that stop people from even thinking about purchasing a home?
So what I'm finding is a lot of people are set in a way that they remember how it used to be.
And how
they are thinking that they need to put 20% down.
Oh.
That is not true. Another one is the credit. They'll say, I only have a 610. Well, you can get a mortgage with a 610 credit score. Mm-hmm. Because there is the FHA loan. FHA, okay. Maybe 80% of my buyers use the FHA loan.
Now, what is the FHA loan?
So that's the Federal Housing Administration.
And does that have to?
Yep.
Okay.
So
take that.
So the FHA loan, it's a mortgage that is backed by the government.
Okay.
And so their down payment requirement is just 3.5%.
3.5% of the total
of the
cost
purchase
of the house.
price.
Okay. All right. 3.5%.
And then the credit score is a minimum of 580. So with a 580 credit score and 3.5% down, you can purchase a home.
And those are with the FHA loan.
FHA loan.
And you don't have to be in the military or anything like that.
Nope.
So do they give you a high interest rate? What's the catch? Because there's no catch.
So actually, I closed on 3 homes today, and 2 of them were FHA, and they got 3.5% interest rate.
3.5% interest rate.
The rates are crazy. Now, this is one reason why I'm super excited, and I want everybody to get a house. These rates are crazy low. 3.2, 3.5. I mean, you can get a lot of home for cheaper than paying rent with these low interest rates.
I'm just astonished. I'm sitting here, I'm trying to keep the conversation going, but I'm astonished because no one ever tells you that. Mm-hmm. No one ever tells you that. If you go to a banker, they will talk $650 or out the door, for one thing. Mm-hmm. No one talks about no 3.5% down payment. Mm-hmm. And no, I've never heard anybody talk about a 3.5% interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
And is this just now, or has this been for a while?
This has been for a while.
What?
This has been for a while. Because I have a FHA loan, and I bought my house 14 years ago, and I did not put 20% down. So I guess the one catch is when you put less than 20% down, you have to pay private mortgage insurance. And that is pretty much insuring your loan. And that's going to be added to your monthly mortgage payment, which will still end up cheaper than
paying rent.
Or rent payment.
Okay.
Absolutely. So it could be an extra $100 per month for the private mortgage insurance because you're putting down less than 20%, but it's still cheaper than paying rent. In a lot of cases.
Now, this is really, really interesting news. And I hope that everybody is listening to what JJ is saying, because it sounds so simple that most people probably think it's complicated because it sounds so simple. It's just finding the right real estate agent to walk you through the home purchase. Now, if you have an income about $60,000 a year, what type of home, what price range of home should you be thinking about?
So that would be a lender question, because the thing is, you can bring in 60,000, but how much is your debt? So another thing that comes into play when you're trying to get pre-qualified and trying to get a mortgage is your debt to income ratio.
And explain how people figure that out.
So pretty much the debt to income ratio is how much money you bring in per month, let's say 2,000, and how much debt goes out per month, car, note, credit cards, and all those things. That number cannot be higher than 43% for FHA.
Okay, 43%.
So, and then for, let's say, conventional, it's lower. So that's why it's kind of harder to get into a conventional loan. Conventional loans, you need a 620 credit score, and your debt to income can be higher than, I believe, a 36%.
Wow. That's like some people's rent. I mean, I'm just saying, because they say, well, you shouldn't pay more than 30% of your income per month but in Cleveland, you have to pay. I mean, rent is high in Cleveland. It's really not a cheap place to live.
Now, I didn't mention this, and I was going to bring it up, but for those who, let's say, don't have any credit challenges and have over a 640 credit score, there are programs out there where you have zero down payment. So there is zero down payment, zero closing costs, and you pick the home of your choice.
And this is like a 700 credit score?
So normally it's like 620, 640 is normally the requirements for these type of programs. They have the OFA, that's the Ohio Finance Agency, and they pay for the closing cost, for the down payment, part of the closing cost. And you can also ask for seller concessions, and you come to the table with nothing down and move into your home.
This is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a deep breath, because I've tried to buy a home before, and I understand that it's best to, we talked about before, to go on with a not pre-qualified, with a pre-approved loan. You know, so you're going in, say you get $150,000 pre-approved. So you go in with $150,000, and you get a real estate agent that shows you all these houses that are under $150,000, but close to, because most of them are trying to just make money, off of, they know you got that much. And no one ever talks about these types of programs. They just figure you got the loan, and they're going to utilize that loan to make their profit and get you into a house as much as they can get out of that loan.
Well, and the good thing about me as your realtor, it's not about how much you are pre-qualified for or pre-approved for with me. It's about your comfort level and where you want to be as far as your rent payment. My one client, she was pre-approved for $190,000, but we ended up getting a home for her for $150,000. So it's about my client, what's in their best interest, and where they're the most comfortable at. So, it doesn't matter the pre-approved amount. I want to make sure that we are getting my client what they want.
Now, in case you don't understand what we were talking about with pre-approved and pre-qualified, explain to people the difference in being pre-approved than being pre-qualified, and the advantages of being pre-approved instead of pre-qualified when you're trying to purchase a home.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody could go and get pre-qualified. You can go online and fill out some form online, and you are telling them how much your income is, and your debts and what your credit score is, and based on that, they'll give you a number. Now, this is where pre-qualification is kind of good, because it kind of gives you an idea of the price range that you would be looking for if you were to get pre-approved for the home. So you'll put in and say, okay, based on the information you yourself put in, nothing is verified, you qualify for $140,000. Okay. So you have an idea in your mind what you would be looking for. Now, the problem is, this information is not verified. Yeah. So pre-qualified does not equal you can get a house. That's where people
hear that,
are
everybody. I mean, really, it's important for you to understand it, because I get pre-qualified mail for credit cards all the time. Well, you're pre-qualified. That
and
doesn't
then
mean
when
I'm
you
gonna
go
get
and
it.
apply and they pull the actual information,
Right,
you may
right.
get denied. So
Right.
that's kind of similar to the pre-qualification. It's just information that you're putting in the system, or even talking to the lender, you're verbally telling them this information. Nothing is verified. Pre-approved is where you want to be. Pre-approved is when you have spoken to a lender, you have given them your W-2s, you have given them 1 month of pay stubs, you have given them, they've checked your credit report to see what's on there, and you are in a better shape to get pre-approved over pre-qualified. So
Now, when you say a lender, are you talking about the bank or some of these people that are like mortgage companies? What would you suggest that someone go to?
So I work with both. I work with
Okay.
people that go through mortgage companies, like there's Freedom Mortgage, or go through like bank, like Dollar Bank. I mean, a mortgage is a mortgage, so there is no tricks or anything like that. Yeah, so a mortgage is a mortgage, whether it's coming from an actual mortgage company, a credit union, or a regular bank.
Okay, because you know a lot of people are scared to go into the bank, and then mortgage lenders always they just seem like they're a little friendlier, a little easier on you.
Well, that could be true. I know, like with credit unions, some of them they are a little bit more stringent than a mortgage company. So
Okay.
you just have to do some shopping around, because I have had some clients that were declined by other banks, and then they would use my preferred lender, and she could get them pre-approved, because each banks are different.
Yeah.
Their requirements are different. So I would definitely encourage shopping around.
But when you shop around, doesn't that put a hit on your credit report?
You took the words out of
I mean,
my
it's
mouth.
just
Now,
excuse me.
so when you shop around, and let's say 8 mortgage companies check your credit, it's like one hit, because you're not going to buy 10 houses. You're just buying one house, so it's all for the same one house.
But there's different inquiries on it. Doesn't that
But
add
it's all
up?
related to the same one thing. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like, if you go buy a car and 10 car loans, it won't minus you 10 times. It's like just one hard hit, since it's all about that one thing. I know for mortgages, if you do it all within 30 days, it's just like one hit. So if you shop around and you shop around the same time frame within 30 days, it's only one hit. So don't be concerned about, oh, I don't want to check with another lender because it's going to ruin my credit, because it won't.
Oh, no, that's good to know. So if you do have like 8 lenders that you check with, and after 30 days you decide, well, I'm not willing to buy a house right now, does that stay on your credit record as a hit?
It stays
will
on
it
there
come off?
as the one.
Hit?
Yeah.
And how long does that take to come off?
2 years to come off the hits.
Oh.
Yeah, so the hits, once they hit, they stay on your credit report for 2 years before they start falling off.
Boy, this is a lot of information. I'm just like soaking it up. I hope you guys are soaking this information up too, because these are things that you really just need to know. You know, you walk in blind and you can get taken for a ride, but not by JJ, because she's got it going on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's really good to know about the credit. So you're saying with an FHA loan, you can go on with a score 580 to 600 with 3.5% down and get a home. Now, what kind of income do you have to get? Is there a certain amount that you have to get an FHA loan?
No.
Or it's just always the income debt ratio that they look at?
They look at all of that. So, I mean, there is no minimum dependent on the type of home that you want. If you're looking for a $38,000 home, I mean, it just depends on your income. I'm not a lender, but yeah.
Wow. Because I know people always talk about, do medical bills and school loans have an effect on your...
Now, student loans, they have affected some of my buyers. You know, you go to school, you rack up all these student loans to get a better job, and then when you try to get a house, it takes you over the debt to income ratio because I mean you may have $70,000 in student loans or so so that could, but I do know some lenders that they work with people that have a lot of student loans and they could lower it down to 1%. There's things that could be done to assist you in getting a home even with student loans, so it's still not impossible.
Because that doggone student loan situation is usually the only big debt that most people have if they're paying their bills every month. If you pay your bills every month, you're not, well, I don't know. I guess some people could be like $50,000, $100,000 in credit card debt. I don't know those kind of people, but if you are, then that is a big debt to income ratio. But usually it's the school loan situation, and everybody has school loans. So anybody that went to school and didn't have money to pay for it has these big school loans, especially.
And also car payments, because some car payments are $400, $500, $600 a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are huge, along with the student loans, along with the credit cards. I mean, yeah, because some people can even not have any credit cards and their student loans be the main reason. Now, if you have a nice amount of income, then there is, it shouldn't be a problem. But it's when you are working maybe part-time and you have student loans and you're going to get a new job and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, because I'm looking at this situation. It's just, I just think that a lot of people don't understand that this debt to income ratio is really the defining factor.
It really is, because you can have a 620 credit score and you can have the income, but if your debt to income ratio does not meet requirements, it'll be hard to qualify for a home.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing I saw on one of your, you had this on your Facebook page, breaking down your credit score. And they said more credit score facts revealed. 9 open credit cards is the average per customer.
I saw that. I was blown away.
I'm blown away.
I was like, 9. I was like, I normally tell my people like 2 major
3
credit cards, 3 at the most. Like when I saw 9, I'm like, whoa. Yes, absolutely. Because you do want some credit cards because the credit mix is it makes up 10% of your credit score. So you do want a good mix. You want a few credit cards. You want a car note or whatever, another installment loan, just to show your credit worthiness. I can handle multiple debts at the same time and pay them all on time for a long period of time.
But then that makes your debt to income ratio go up. And then I found out they don't even want you to use
if you have
20%.
the credit cards and you pay them off every month, then there is no debt there.
Well, what's the purpose of having a credit card?
To show that you're paying it off every month.
I don't know. I think
to show that you're paying it every month.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't. For me, the getting credit on a credit card situation is like just more debt, And I understand that they say 9. That's woo. For me, that's way over the top. But to have 2 or 3 credit cards, say you got a $10,000 limit, which would be great for a credit card, then you wouldn't need to spend more than 20% of that to maintain your credit. But a lot of people that are trying to repair their credit scores to get that little $300 credit card, and they said, well, just get your gas every month. Just get your gas and pay it off every month. That's adding debt to your debt to income ratio that you really just don't need.
So if you
and it's
already
not
have a lot of debt, adding another card secured and paid off every month will not help. In my opinion.
Right.
Minimizing and eliminating the debt that you currently have, that's what's going to make your score go up. Yeah, I would never say, okay, you have 9 cards, now get another one and start paying. Like, don't add more debt to the mix if you're already in credit troubles. Also, what some people do is when they want to fix their credit, they go and close their accounts so that they won't use them. Now, it's terrible. Like, that will make your score go down because now you've closed your account, you don't have any available credit, and you still have all this debt.
Oh my goodness.
So what I want you to do is cut up those cards so you don't use them, leave them open, and pay down those bills, and then your score will start going up.
So when you've paid off those credit cards and you're not using them, isn't that detrimental to your credit score?
Well, if you have 9, then no. Oh. I mean, if you have 9, no. If you don't have any and then you just stop using them, but if you have other kind of credit, like an installment loan or a car note or a mortgage, then that keeps your credit rolling. You still have some creditors reporting every month showing that you're paying on time. And that's pretty much what they're looking for. They just want to see that you can pay your bills on time for a long period of time.
Okay. So that's the key. Pay your bills on time and try to keep that debt ratio down.
Yep.
Down. And if you got those students, see, that's just me. I had these student loans looming over my head. It's like the plague. Every time I look at it, it's never, ever going down because I got a small payment. But then if you're paying out $650 a month on a student loan, they look at you like you're crazy. The creditors are like, you pay $650 a month on a student loan? That's not good. We don't think that's good. But then that's the only way to get the loan down. So it's like deja vu.
Say, I have a comment here on your Facebook page.
Okay.
Ken wants to know what about conventional loans. I want to get out of Cleveland, out of Cuyahoga County. Can I get a conventional, or I got a business? Can I get a business loan on my business?
I need you to read it again for me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sure, no problem. Okay, Ken is asking, what about conventional loans? I want to get out of Cleveland or out of Cuyahoga County. I don't know if you're talking about moving or buying a house. Obviously, can I get a conventional loan, or I got a business? Can I get a business loan on my business?
Oh.
So you can definitely get a conventional loan if you have a 620 credit score and all the other requirements for a conventional loan. And I did look into the business loans for one of my other parties, and there are certain banks that do them. I don't know the ones that do them, but they are out there. One of my realtor counterparts, he actually inboxed me a connect for a financial institution that he thinks does business loans. They are out there. I'm just not sure. I will look into that for you, and then I will post a comment under your comment once I figure it out for you.
Now that's really interesting. I didn't even think about the business aspect of your real estate ventures. So you do buy properties, help people buy properties for businesses too, huh?
Yes.
Wow.
I am a no limit. I am up for the challenge. I will help you buy them under your business, commercial, residential, duplexes. The sky's the limit for me.
Wow.
I am eager to learn, and I'm just eager to help. So, I mean, whatever it is that you need, I'll help you figure it out, and we can do it together.
So that's very encouraging. That's very encouraging because, you know, this is the day and age to have your own. You know, you have to have something that is yours in order to keep moving forward. Because as much as you think, okay, I have $450 that I can spend every month, and I have to rent because I don't want the responsibility of owning a home, and I don't want this and I don't want that. If you talk to JJ, she will explain to you why it's important to take that $450 every month and invest it into yourself by owning your own property.
Absolutely. There is not a better time than now to start trying to invest in yourself. If you're even thinking about it, start now. Start saving. You may qualify for that zero down payment program, but I would still start saving because there are still other costs that is associated. You're probably going to want to buy new furniture, like fun stuff.
I'm thinking closing costs and appraisals and all that. What about all that stuff that goes along with buying a house?
Yes. So when we start the process, I let all my clients know that there are 2 upfront costs that we are going to have to pay along the way before we get to the end.
Okay,
and
what are those?
The one is the inspection. And those can range anywhere from $300 to $500.
Okay.
Now, there's different types of home inspections. I always encourage my buyers to do at least the general home inspection.
Okay.
Now, this is where you are going to go and you are going to learn about your home. You're going to learn about the roof. You're going to learn about the basement, the foundation,
Oh, good.
where
Good.
the water switches are and the electric panel. If it's hooked up properly, you're just going to learn
Sewage systems and stuff like that?
everything about the house. Now, they don't do the sewage systems. Now, a bunch of the cities, not all of them, have a point of sale inspection.
Oh.
And my husband, he actually works for the county, and he goes out and he has to test the sewers and things like that. And they could fail and they can't sell their home. So some cities do those things, not all.
So that's the point of sale.
Point of sale inspection.
That's done when you're getting ready to sign the paperwork, or you get that with
so
the upfront.
The person that listed the home, the owner, they are responsible for ordering the point of sale, and whatever comes back, they are responsible for fix it before transfer. Now, some realtors will put in there that we've ordered the point of sale, and the seller is not going to do any fixing.
Oh.
And so, I mean, I'm not sure if the sellers will, they're in financial trouble, that they can't fix it, and that, if the buyer loved the home that much that they'll pay it. But you do run across those kind of situations where...
So that's a bargaining chip for the buyer if the seller's not willing to fix the point of sale violations. Don't you think?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's something that you need to know about your advantages and disadvantages. So that's something I had no idea about that.
And then the second out of pocket is the appraisal. Now so the inspection is something that the buyer pick, and me as the realtor, I'll send them 3 referrals, and they call around and see which one that they want to go with, and then we'll have the inspection. Then the appraisal is ordered by the lender. Because the appraisal is for the lender. They are not going to loan you more money
than
the home is worth. So as a protection for them, they order the appraisal, but you got to pay for it.
And how much does that usually run?
So it's normally up there. It's like, I've been seeing up to $500.
Wow, so that's like $1,000 up front.
Up front.
Before you even can start the process of purchasing the home. So save up your dollars.
Because you are going to need, so normally when let's say we found you the perfect home and we put in an offer, within 7 days, we have to have that inspection done. So you're going to need that $300 to $500 then. Then once that's done, like the next week or so, you'll need the other $500 for the appraisal.
So if you're going to purchase a home and you need the inspection money, the appraisal money before you even get started, and closing cost money, should you have that saved up also?
It'll be nice to have it saved up. In a lot of my contracts, we do ask for the seller to contribute towards the closing costs. That helps the buyer when they come to the table bring less. And maybe 90% of my deals, the sellers has contributed towards the closing costs.
So if you are, as the buyer, responsible for the closing costs, what percentage of the cost of the home does that usually run?
So generally around 3%, but it can range between 2 to 6%, depending on the lender.
Okay.
But normally, it's around the 3% range.
Okay.
Of the purchase price.
So if you're buying $100,000 house, then
about $3,000 in closing.
So generally, if you're going to buy a pretty decent size house and you're going to put 3% down, you should have about $8,000.
Yes.
$8,000. That's a good round figure. Now, I mean, just to make sure that you have stuff covered, you know, because even though you can get a house with no money down, there are other costs that you're going to have to cover before you get the keys to this house.
Yes.
And God forbid you have to do repairs, because there's some cities that when you get that inspection,
Well, as the buyer, that's really not something that you would be concerned with. It's the
okay.
seller. It's the seller's responsibility. Actually, the home that I just closed on today, the seller, we went through the inspection. It went so good. Like, they only had to fix one thing per the general inspection that we had done. Now, when the city came out, they said, because we did see some things that, needed fixed, but then when we see those things, we reflect that in our offer.
Okay.
Because, we're going to prepare to make these fixes because we seen them with our eyes when we were there. We're going to come in lower so that it can compensate for the work that we'll have to do to fix those things that we saw.
Right.
But the city was like, no, they need to fix them, which, yay for my buyer, and but the seller had to fix it.
Wow.
If they didn't fix it, they couldn't sell the property.
Couldn't sell the property. See, this is really, really interesting. This is so good to know. You are so knowledgeable on all this. You guys really, I'm telling you, if you want to buy a property, you need to talk to JJ at Howard Hanna. Okay.
I'm your girl, Jay Good.
You.
I'm telling you, I am so super excited. I don't know. It's just my passion. It makes my heart smile when I'm making these dreams come true. It really does.
I could tell. Now, we talked about home ownership. We talked about credit scores. We talked about building your credit and preparing yourself financially to purchase a home. But I did want to tap into the taxes situation because we ran out of time and we didn't talk about taxes. And it's very important, especially at this time of the year, because you do taxes also.
I do taxes. Let me tell you, I've been doing taxes for almost 20 years now. I really don't promote it that much because I'm really focused on my real estate. But now I'm like, I can help you do your taxes and help you use your refund to get a house. So I'm kind of like,
And if you don't have your tax situation under control, it's going to be hard to buy a house. I'm telling you, Donald Trump is the only person who don't have to file no taxes or produce no tax returns or do anything. Don't think you him, because you're not. You will get caught up. You can't even, I know that, now I'm telling you, I'm putting my stuff out here on blast, because I'm always one of those late to file taxes people, because I always owe, and I hate paying the government more money.
I know.
But you still got to pay them, so you might as well just go on and file. But I was paying a debt that I had a few years ago, and I called them and I said, well, I want to get on a payment plan. And they told me, IRS, they said, oh, no, you can't get on the payment plan. I said, well, I haven't missed a payment or done anything wrong. What's wrong? And they said, well, you didn't file your taxes last year. And what I owed them was for a couple years ago. And I said, well, what does that have to do with getting on the payment plan? I said, it has a lot to do with it. It said, you cannot be trusted to be on a payment plan with us if you have not filed your current tax. Your 1 year, last year, was not filed. And it blew my mind. It was like, boom, you got to be kidding me. Because I'm trying to pay you this money. And they said, no, you're going to have to pay it in full. And that's what I had to do. It was amazing to me how not filing your taxes can be held against you in ways you never knew.
And if you are able to get on a payment plan, let's say for last year, and then you file this year and you can't have a double payment plan. You have to pay it this year all in full, and they won't do a second payment plan. You have to pay off the old payment plan to get on the new payment plan. So yeah, IRS does not play.
They do not play, and
they don't play with their money.
I don't mean
they
to
will
laugh,
come get their money.
It's really just not funny, but I guess I can chuckle now because I've learned to not mess with the IRS. Don't mess with them. And if you really want to purchase a house and you think everything's going along fine, but you didn't file taxes back in 2009, you skipped a year because you and Boo Boo weren't together or something, and you've been filing ever since then, they will take you all the way back to 2009. Now, am I lying? They will take you all the way back, and then the interest charges probably going to be more than what you owed.
Yes.
It's like
quadrupled. Yep.
It's just amazing. So one thing I would really, really encourage everybody to do is to file those taxes, because it can stop you from being able to get a house in the end.
Yes. So please file your taxes. Is there any questions that you have about taxes specifically or no?
Oh, well, I got my questions answered by the IRS. But They answered me very specifically. But I just, I know that now that all of our children have flown the nest and we don't have any children to deduct anything, I don't even know if you can still deduct. Can you still deduct for your children and get money off your taxes?
So now you no longer have the personal exemption. It's just one huge standard deduction or the itemized deductions. Before it used to be the standard deduction, let's say, was $8,000 plus you got an additional $3,900 for each dependent.
And then I paid daycare.
You can't do that no more.
So I used to be able to take off for daycare. We didn't have vouchers back in the day. We had to pay, and I used to be able to take off for that, but I still owed.
Yeah. So, so now I think more people only qualify for the standard deduction because they upped it to for head of household $18,000. So if your itemized deductions don't add up to $18,000, you might as well just go ahead and take the standard deduction. You have to earn income credit still. You still
and
have.
What is the earned income credit?
So the earned income credit is if you make less than, I know for a single, less than $41,000, you get extra money. So earned income credit, and you have three kids, you can get up to $6,500 in earned income credit, and that will be money that will come back to you after.
Oh, I'm sorry.
After you pay. Why you laughing? Look at your face.
Because I'm thinking you're making less than $40,000 a year, and you have 3 children, and I just.
I really don't like the term earned income credit because I earn income, but I don't qualify for the credit because I make more.
That's what I'm saying.
You make more than,
doesn't make more than that?
It's for low income families. One of my clients called me. It's funny, and it really doesn't work like this. She said, JJ, she was like, I want you to do my taxes, and I want you to give me back $8,000. I said, well, I'm not a magician. So, I mean, that's not really how it works. Right. I mean, I know people think that, I have 3 kids and I made $6,000. I want $8,000 back.
But you know what? People used to get income tax checks like that, and they weren't
they
making
still do.
any.
Oh, they still do.
Oh, okay.
They still do. Yeah, I have a client. She made around $24,000.
Wow.
And she got $11,000 back.
Ooh.
Because she has 3 kids. And so she got the earned income credit that was $65.57. Then she got the child tax credit for the 3 kids, which is $2,000 each kid, $1,400 for each is refundable to you. And then she got all the federal taxes that was withheld from her check back. So yeah. So they are still getting it, but you have to earn some income. Now, if you made let's say $39,000. Earned income credit works it's like a phased approach. If you make $7,000, you only get a little earned income credit. You don't get $6,557 if you claim 3 kids and you said you made $7,000. It's kind of like in the midpoint, between $13,000 to 20-something thousand, you'll get the full maximum. Once you start getting towards, I made $35,000, your earned income credit won't be $6,557. It'll be $1,200. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So they start phasing away until you get to that amount, and then it evaporates. I haven't seen an earned income credit in a long time. It makes me sad.
I don't know. I guess because I've been blessed to have pretty decent wages. I just have never ever seen one of those income tax checks, and I hear people getting them all the time. But I guess it's what do you want? Do you want to not have the income and get the big check, which lasts for about a whole week and a half?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you want, to have a good income? But what do people that are my age, I'm a senior, what do we do? We're not going to get an income tax check back, are we? I was going to say, what can we do to get a refund? But we're not going to get a refund, are we?
Pay more taxes throughout the year, increase your IRA contributions to the max. I mean, but then that's taking money out of your, you want to live some. Now you really don't want to be doing all that stuff to get a refund.
So I'm going to have to pay again this year. I'm going to have to call up IRS and get that paid.
And most people that get refunds, with the exception of those that's getting all this earned income credit and things like that, a lot of my friends that make over the earned income credit amount. They really don't want these huge refunds because what that's telling them is that they took too much of your money and they was investing your money and getting all this interest off of your money the whole year. You want to keep your own money and invest your own money and get your own interest yourself and like get $100 back from them. You don't want to get no huge refund because that just means you gave the government too much of your money.
That makes so much sense. People are always talking about you should give extra every month, and then you'll get your income tax refund. Well, first of all, you're not going to get the thousands of dollars that you see other people getting. And like you said, why give the government your money to make money off of when you can be taking that money and buying some stocks? Or, you know,
yes.
I'm telling you, you really don't need to be a millionaire to buy stock. I'm telling you, my granddaughter and I, we're getting ready to hook up in Dollar Tree. I mean, it's just things that you think about. I use every day. Buy a stock.
Yeah.
Just one if you have to.
Yeah.
And then build on it. Things like that. Take your extra money and do that.
Yeah.
You know, that money that you put in the jar, when you get $5, you get change. I talked to one of my other guests was talking about, she took one of her goals on her vision board was to take a $5 bill when you get change for it, put all the change in the jar and then invest that money or save that money. And those are the kind of things that people like me who aren't going to get that earned income credit, who if I could buy a house and it's not really going to boost my tax return up any, but it will be property. And anytime you own property, it's a good thing. You could own land, and it's a good thing. You know, the Bible
really
tell you
good
about
now.
that owning the land. It's a good thing.
Because the homes are appreciating. Like, I bought my home at the worst time in 2006 when it was at the peak, and then it went, and then so I end up on more than what my home was worth. And I'm just now recovering, and I'm where it's worth more now, but now these homes are appreciating. The values are going up, and if you buy now and the values are going up, your interest rates are low, so the principal is going down faster. I mean, the next 5 you will have a bunch of equity in your home that you can even use to buy a rental property. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
What about that rental property?
Yes.
Now,
yes,
tax-wise, is that a smart move or not a smart move to buy rental property?
It's always a smart move to buy rental property. You just need the right accountant, because I mean, the first few years, if you have to do repairs and stuff like that, you just have to keep good track of the your income and your expenses. But I will never tell you like rental property is a bad thing.
Okay. Good news. Good news.
Now, me, myself, I really want to go like duplex, triplex, where the one is paying the mortgage and the other two is pocky. Yes.
That's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at. Get you a duplex. Next thing is a 4-suiter.
Yes.
Do a 6-suiter because it only benefits you to own property. And then, like I say, you have to leave something for your children besides a good funeral.
Absolutely,
You know.
and funeral expenses.
That's ridiculous. You know, and I'm just saying, and I know everybody thinks differently about a funeral service, but I'm telling you, if you can get me in that ground or ashes for $2,000 and take the other $8,000, if I got $10,000, buy some property, invest and buy some stocks. That's where to go. That's just my thoughts. You know, you have to really think about your money, and when you're having life insurance and stuff like that, how to dictate where your money is going, because investing and buying property is the way to go.
Yes.
A lot of people, period, but a lot of our people do not understand the importance of buying land and buying property. It's very important. I saw that you just sold some land. I saw that. Go girl.
And I mean, it's funny because I was doing floor duty, and the guy called, and he was saying, my land was listed with someone else and it expired and I just want to get rid of it. So I kind of looked at the area. I gave him the amount that I thought that he should list it for. And he was like, okay, I'll just go with your word. Like, he don't know who I am. He just trusted what I said. I drew up the contract in like 30 minutes. I sent it over. And then my manager, the manager at Howard Hanna during our meeting, she was like, JJ got a land listing and it may not sell, but her name will be out there and all this other stuff. And then in less than a week, I got a phone call.
Yes.
And was like, I want that land. I said, I'll draw up the contract.
That's right.
And everyone was so surprised because it was like, it was listed for 6 months before, nothing. And then when you get a hold to it, she was like, everything you touch, JJ, it turns to sold. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
When you're blessed, when you're blessed, and when you have, I mean, your heart is in this. You can tell that your heart is in this. I mean, you're making money, but that's just the extra on top of it. Because you are helping people who never thought they could do this. And there's nothing like reaching a point in your life where, okay, you've been working, and you don't even know that there's the opportunity out there to make a purchase of real estate. And because you've always thought you couldn't do it. Because no one has told you, you can do it. Like how you bring people in and tell them, okay, this is where you're at, this is where you're going to be, and this is where you need to be. And that right there, for people who, there are some people that are dedicated. There are some people out here that do want to do the right thing. They're not just going to work every day just because I got to go to work every day. And they're thinking in their minds, how can 5 years from now I be in this spot instead of this spot? And it's, I remember when I started nursing school and people, I worked at the law firm, they laughed at me. Girl, that's going to take you 5 years just to get that 2-year degree. It sure did. But at the end of the 5 years, I had the nursing degree. And
Absolutely.
and that's what I'm telling you guys. I'm telling people, and this is my little spiel, we're getting towards the end, that don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. There's so many people that will give you the negative flip on your situation because they either don't want you to get what they have, or they just don't understand that you can do all things, Yes. I mean, I'm just saying you can take one step at a time, and if you hit a roadblock, go around it. And that's what JJ is here for. She has taken people who never thought or imagined that they could make this kind of move and sat down with them, and you just encouraged them and found, I mean, you might not be buying a house on South Park tomorrow, but if you can buy a house on Park South, it's yours,
Absolutely.
It's yours. There's nothing like having your own, because then that's a foundation.
Absolutely.
That's a foundation. And if your foundation is strong, then you can do what? Build on it. Build on it. And that's how you get financially secure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My one client, she told me that she wanted to buy a house. It was back in July. And she was like, I want to buy a house. And I was talking to realtors and I was talking to lenders, and they told me I wasn't ready. I needed to pay this off. I needed to do this. And I said, well, let me see your credit score. So then she pulled it up and she was like, I still need to pay this off. I need to pay that off. And I have this much saved up. And I got a 620, but they said I need a 680. And I was like,
what?
I said, hold on, wait a minute. Let me look. And I was like, you can get a house. I don't think I can. I don't know. They told me no. I said, listen, I'm listening to your story. I see and I hear you getting a house. And so she was like, okay. You're my realtor. We're going to do it. She was kind of nervous. And so I'm not that pushy, but then I always check in like, hey, so I was checking in. And guess what? We got her under contract and she's going to close on her house next month.
All right.
It took some time,
yes.
But I mean, I connected her with one of my lenders. She did have to pay some stuff off. It's not all peachy. There are some bumps in the road. I mean, and I'm here to take all that stress away. Because I mean, it is a stressful situation. Oh my gosh. Especially when, you're pre-approved and you're still scared that the deal is going to fall apart, because deals do fall apart.
Yeah, well.
But I'm here to comfort you and really go to bat for you. Like, my deal today almost fell apart because we had to wait for some documentation from the city. Guess what JJ did?
Went down.
I went down to the city.
Amen. Amen.
The other realtor called me and she was like, it's going to take 5 days to get the document. And I don't think they were going to be able. I said, okay, I'll call you back.
Right.
I drove up to the city.
I know that's right.
I walked in there. I was like, listen, we need this and we need that. Can you do anything? I am begging you. I mean, I was just, let them know, like,
Proactive.
3 different families' lives are at stake here. If we don't get this document, is there anything that you can do? And then the guy looked at me and he said, give me your business card. I'll see. So I'm checking my email all day. I went and got a manicure and a pedicure, but I'm checking my phone all day. And then I still didn't hear anything. The lender's calling me. The title company's calling me. And I'm like, I still don't have anything. So then I said, okay, JJ, you don't want to call them? Send them an email. Hey, it's me again. Just following up. Were you able to do anything? I'm so sorry to keep bothering you, but I'm in desperate. I mean, I just,
Tell the truth.
just told the truth. And so I sent the email. And so then the title company called me again. She was like, anything? And before I could say no, it popped up on my phone.
Oh, Lord.
I said, ah! I got it.
Hallelujah.
I got it. Now, what I didn't mention is, once I sent that email, I said, Lord,
That's
you
what I'm
take
talking
it.
about. That's what
Lord,
I'm talking
you
about.
take it. I've done over and beyond. I've done all I can do.
Amen.
I've drove up there. I sent the email. I'm communicating with everybody. Now you take it.
Amen.
And as soon as I was ready to say, I haven't heard anything, it was like, boop. I was like, she was like, send it over. Like, I was like, stay on the phone. I sent it over. I said, is that it? She was like, that's it. We're rocking and rolling. I was like, thank you, Lord.
Amen.
you,
I know.
Yeah.
Now, JJ, give them your contact information because we're getting ready to close up here.
Oh, it's
And
been an hour already?
I told you. I tell people this all the time. We get started, and before you know it, the hour is gone. But give them your phone number, your email,
Absolutely.
your website, your Facebook page, everything, because this is the woman you need to be talking to.
Absolutely. Please, please, please contact me. My phone number is 216-282-3835. And I can be reached at my first name. Oh my God. Really get a pen. It's spelled, or just look at JUNTYNA Goodrum, GOODRUM at howardhanna.com. I look forward to working with everybody who think that they can't buy a home. Hit me up. Let's get it done. Even if it don't happen next month, come on. We will come up with a plan. I'm not letting you fall through the cracks. Now is the time to buy, guys.
Amen.
Now is the time.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Be careful out there because it is bad. But I'm hoping that everyone takes care of themselves, has a great weekend, and give JJ a call. You never know what might be in the horizon for you. Have a blessed week. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.